unlike the nature of the mind or the rupa, will not bring the full liberations, full bloom. Understanding is, if I use realization. Generally, there is, in a practice lineage, there is three. And understanding, and the realization, and the stabilizing. These three are important. At the beginning time, we understand. So I think that's good. Good understanding. So at the beginning time, we understand. How we understand? Intellectually understand. This is not. Actually, also understand has two understandings. Understanding intellectually, understanding of realization levels. But beginning time, we understood intellectually. When you receive the teaching, or when you started teaching, then you see, oh, that makes sense, that understand, or I understand now what to talk. So that is really like understanding intellectually. You investigate it, analyze it, and you receive the teaching, and you also put yourself some degree of the analytic thought and about some kind of little bit more tangible understanding. That is understanding. Now that understandings, then you're going to put that into practices. Practice is then, as I already said, with joy and with joyful effort. But practice. Or exactly follow the instructions. Follows. Then what it brings, then got the glimpse of realizations. Glimpse of practice. Even you got the glimpse of realization, still the habit pattern won't go completely. It will softening, it is going away some degree, but it's not really going to go away. Then, finally, is full-blown realizations. That is according to Buddha's teaching. For example, I'm sure you heard that, 5 paths. Accumulation path, application path, seeing path, meditation path. That among 5 paths, 4 paths. What is the teaching said? In accumulation path, the practitioner will understand it in that time. In the application path, they get some realizations. Seeing path, they got full bloom realizations. And the meditation path, they're stabilizing that realization. Meditation path. So this is a practical layout. Again, gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamunis. And these average people, those certain individuals, highly capable, instantly they get realizations. Instantly. According to teaching, and a very famous Dzogchen master known as Pangi Mohang Gompo. And he was so old already that time. I'm sure many of you heard that story I mentioned, and K.G. Padma mentioned. I'm sure many other great masters mentioned that. So, Pangi Mohang Gompo is so old at the 8th century. One old man. He's come from Eastern Tibet. He heard the reputation of the great Dzogchen master Rinpoche of Tibet. He heard so many times. And he was a little bit suffering. Because he's so old, every sense, everything not so clear. At the same time, his relatives and family members is also not so nice to him. I mean, like, having all those common troubles. But he heard that time the reputation and good things about Rinpoche. He always thought, when I can meet him. If I'm young, I have to go, I like to meet him, but I'm old and I can't travel and to see him when I can meet him. But finally, Rinpoche is in East Tibet. In time, he is returning back to Central Tibet. On the path, he waited. He heard Rinpoche is coming. He waited on the road. He asked the family member to support him, try to the way Rinpoche is traveling. But that path, he waited. And the moment he's so excited and happy. Please, gracious teacher, give me teaching. I'm old, I'm feeble, I won't know how long I will stay, but I like to receive this great teaching I heard here. Give me, will you give me teaching? And Verojana saw his perfectly high capability practitioners. And Verojana gave Dzogchen teachings. And he was so excited, so happy the moment he received. In the teaching, he said that, in his story, said that he hugged so long time, Verojana. He hugged after receiving the teaching. And Verojana also gave him that meditation support, because his posture, he cannot do posture good. And there's strength that push up his chains. It was called them cut. And he also gave instructions to use the meditation build that he cannot stay in postures. So he did those techniques, he meditated, he reached transcendental body very soon. He was one of the first, the great masters of the Dzogchen disciple, but from Verojanas. One of the leading Dzogchen lineage masters, lineage holders. And from him, and then continue the succession of the 7 generations, that his disciple, their disciple, one after another, 7 generations, they got rainbow borders. So this Padma Gompo is considered one of the great highly capability practitioners, highly capability individuals. So certain individuals can reach enlightenment very quickly. Powerful master, powerful or qualified teacher, qualified student, and perfect teaching, all that came and right moment time, that's it. You got it. You get it. But average people takes time. When it takes time, what need? As I said, joyful effort and joy. And continue keeping the instructions in heart and mind and follow. Surely we will reach destination. As all enlightened beings, all those great masters, one after another. One after another. It's not just a story of the 800 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. It is a continuous evidence of all those great practitioners. Now we call them masters, but they're not born with masters. They're born as dedicated practitioners, dedicated loyalty practitioners, practicing, keeping close heart. And read the life story of the great master Maradeva. He was a highly capable individual, yet how much he put effort in a life. This is not just a Maradeva, all this Longchima too. Longchima is highly enlightened state, but yet how long he put also effort, joyful effort, meditative practices. Longchima is one of the highest scholars, intellectual masters in the Buddhist histories. Truly, or maybe every aspect of it, or maybe every country, he can be one of the greatest scholars in the world. But yet, when he receives the teaching, intellectually he knows everything. He became known as omniscient, intellectual. But to receive that instruction, he met contact with the qualified teacher, Videdara Komaranda, and received the teachings. Teaching, he observed in the heart and practiced it. Longqi was in the teaching said, in his story said, Longqi was external materially, he is very poor, really poor. Mainly he able to sustain his retreat food. Because his family is also poor. Many times in Tibet, those practitioners supported by the families. Longqi was really quite poor. But yet his courage and commitment. He continually stayed with the Rinpoche Kumaranda for 6 years, receiving all the teachings, with instructions, the lineage blessings. And modern time we think, oh, he is so scholar, so knows everything. Why he had to stay that long with that great masters. But yet he stayed. And then he received all the teachings. Then he put that into practices. Practice time he was also poor. Materially poor. And knowledge, realization level rich. Very rich. Multi-million or billionaires, definitely. But yet, materially poor. And what he did, Lungchimpa has only one bag. One bag, that a big bag of the yak hair. Yak hair, big bag made of yak hair. That was his clothes, this was his blanket, this was his cushion. Jeez. He stayed in high altitude in the winter time. Winter and summer, whatever. He stayed with that bag and practiced it. Meditated. Then Lungchimpa became the great Lungchimpa. Or Lungchimpa became known as second Garab Dorji, or many times said Garab Dorji of Tibet. Truly one of the great Dzogchen masters, great scholars, great realization beings, and yet full of love and compassion down to the earth. That is how great Master Lungchimpa is. Even his highly capable practitioners or highly capable beings, yet he contacted that. That's why. Read other life story too. Naropa. Naropa, as of course you all heard his name, I'm sure. Many of you know. I know. Naropa is one of the great master and scholars in his times in the Bukkarma Monastery University in India. Often said he is the scholar of the North. North. Very famous scholar. But one time he heard from the Dakina or the vision, you are expert on the word, W-O-R-D, word. You are expert on the words, but you are not expert on the meanings. I would like to know the meaning of the word, contract with Master Tilopa. Master Tilopa. And then at that time, he's already thinking to pursue and meditate. So with that kind of encourage him, he contracted Tilopas. And the Tilopa contract, when he contract, in how many? There is known as 12 big ascetic practices and 24 minor ascetic practices. That Tilopa did not give immediately teaching, even word of teaching. In a way, he is making harsh. Modern time, maybe we can tell, oh, he's abusing. Abusing, taking advantages. Advantages, all that things. But Naropa never lingering of his courage and commitment, his devotions, his determinations. He contracted long time. Final teaching. The Lord did not give any particular teachings. And in the teachings, the final day, he removed his sandal boot or the shoe, sandal, right? Sandal, and left hand, he hold the Naropa's, this collar, and the left hand, he took up the sandal was slippery, and banged into his face. And he felt unconsciousness. He fell down. When he woke up that unconsciousness, the brilliant realization of the truth, exactly what he's looking, is completely dawn in the heart, fully dawn, fully shine in the heart. And what Naropa says, or what the Lord says, I did not give any word to you. Any word. Because Naropa is expert on the words. Not to give any word. So therefore I didn't show anything to him. But he got the full realization, boomed in his heart. What the great Master Padma said that, he said, all during that time, Naropa is purifying his obscurations. This great master Katelopa skillfully, because it looks like all those kind of torturing that, all the trouble, but is purifying all his obscurations and accumulating merits, serving to the teachers, doing exactly what teachers has to do. And that realization. Oh, and what's the time now? My time is stopped. Sorry.
11:55.
11:55. Okay, so good timing. I remember. And so that's what it really is. I mean, so for that reason, for the average individual, we continually really need joyful effort, courage and commitment, with loyalty and practice with that. And so then all that. In order to that, he said, all the activity of the three doors, all together, activity of the mundane activity completely kind of like distance yourself, and then spend the time to the practices, and those are said here 9 different things, or 3 doors, or three, and in this Tibetan word, 3 door, gosam means 3 door. 3 door is a metaphor for the body, speech, and mind, because these 3 are the like passage of the positive and the negative, for therefore used in again, of course, Buddha's teaching is called the gosam. So then the activity of the body is big gross activity of body, medium activity of the body, and a very small minor activity of the body, and speech the same way. Those are 9. So kind of put that inside and put in time to practices. And when you put practices, then again here more and the teachings and instructions where we practices, and everything what we do is everything is by the duality is delusion, is deluded. If we follow with the delusions one after another, then we're never going to find undiluted nature. So therefore, should not have any kind of grasping, clinging, and holding, but relax and liberate every activity of the 6 senses. 6 senses I already mentioned earlier, and you all know, mostly you know. 6 senses are the senses of the eye and ear and the conscious, ear and the nose and the tongue and the body and the mind. Those are the 6 senses. And so then kind of release that. If you do that, keep that, then what result, final dzogchen result is coming, and that is known as the Namgyo Lodit. It's how wonderful, how delightful. And now that is like result of dzogchen. Really, I'm going to explain here. Result dzogchen. By that, we will get the true satisfactory goal right now, for now and for future. When you got that realization, that true goal and achievement with that realization, then all the future, those struggling situations or passages such as Bardo and 3 lower realms, or even samsara, is just only merely names. There's nothing to be worried. You reach to the exalted and free from all the conception status and the permanent, great, joyful, and original nature, domaining of your own kundazangu. Then you reach that status. So in a way, when you reach that moment, you are saying goodbye to the samsaras. Goodbye, samsara. So that is really about the result of the dzogchen. Result of dzogchen.